Welcome back, everybody. So, had to take a break from building the last few days. We had Thanksgiving and um, just took some time to clean up the shop, getting near the end of the empennage, which is kind of sad because still waiting on wings to show up, but I'm also still continuing my flight training, and I finally got the opportunity to do the first part of my solo cross country. So this is departure out of KDWH, which is David Wayne Hooks Airport. I'm going to be flying up to College Station, doing a full stop taxi back up there, and then taking off going to Fayette, which is LaGrange, Texas, 3 Tango 5. Full stop taxi back there, and then one last takeoff and flight back to David Wayne Hooks. So I need to get two of these flights in. This was like I said, my first solo cross country. I started learning to fly, almost 28 years ago, I think. It was a long time ago. I made it up as far as getting my first cross country with my instructor done back then, but I never did a solo cross country, so this was a first. It was a beautiful day for it, other than it was a little windy. You can see I'm getting bounced around, and I'm keeping a constant little turn in there for the wind. But overall, I think it went really, really well. I did my departure out of Hooks there. I'm flying over Tomball and Magnolia. And I'll end up cutting this here in a minute, and then we'll slow it down and let you watch the approach and landing into College Station if you're interested in that. If not, this is just kind of for me to look back on and see what I did right and what looks like I could improve. Definite wind correction going on here. I'm kind of getting blown off center line, but I'm fighting to get it back. It seems to be the reoccurring theme for the day. Got a couple planes watching and waiting for me to land right there. This is College Station. And we're down. Time to taxi back and run some checks and get set up to do the next leg. So line up and wait and take off. Sorry, it wasn't line up and wait, it was just cleared for takeoff. Gave me an initial turn before letting me continue on my course. I'm doing VFR flight following for this entire flight. Well, actually, I'm navigating in several different means. It's my own navigation, but VFR flight following. I have a nav log sitting in the seat next to me that I keep referencing with all of my waypoints, and I keep checking to make sure that I'm hitting them when I think I'm going to hit them, and that I can actually find them outside the window, so I can do a little pilotage and dead reckoning. And then I'm backing that up with the GPS on the dash, and then I'm using the iPad and ForeFlight mainly just to watch for other traffic. And there was quite a bit. There was a lot of people out yesterday enjoying the beautiful weather and flying around, and a lot of birds. A couple of migratory flocks of birds, some higher up than I thought I would see them too. Anyways, that's Lake Somerville, which is one of my points that I'm about to cross there. You can see at some point I think I pulled up the airport diagram for 3 Tango 5 to make sure I've got the landing figured out right. And I thought I was going to land one end, but I realized that the winds were favoring 1/6, so instead of doing the overhead and the teardrop, I just did a 45 to the left downwind. It's an uncontrolled airport, so I'm making all my radio calls, making sure everybody knows what I'm doing. It's a little confusing because there's like 3 different airports on the same frequency there. Well, 3 different uncontrolled airports. And this one's a much narrower runway than College Station or Hooks, but still not too bad. The thing about all these airports with trees right next to them is you get that wind shift right there at the end as you drop below the tree line. My roughest landing of the day, but still not too bad. Wasn't going to make that taxiway, so we're going to continue down here and get off on the next one, taxi back, and take the runway, and time to take off again. Holding crosswind controls in there. And it's weird, as I get above the tree line, I start getting blown the other way. And back to trying to hold that center line as I get out of there. So the departure from here is always interesting because there's these set of smokestacks. It's the first point, and a little creepy flying over them. I think I cut it just a little to the left of them this time, so I wasn't directly over them when I went over. I had planned to climb a little higher, but that cloud layer was pretty scattered, but it was getting a little closer, so I decided that I'd keep it where I was at for right now until later on we passed them, and then I climbed back up to 3,000 feet, which was requested by Houston Center, along with a heading change. I'm going to end up having to turn to go around Skydive Houston and some skydive operations, so I didn't get the straight line back I was hoping for, but worked out. I need more time than anything else anyway, so here in just a minute I think I'm going to make my turn back from going around the skydivers. And you just see we're starting to get into the outskirts of Houston here. And I was setting myself up, and I was cleared to come in on a left base for runway 35 left. But ultimately, they said they knew I was a student solo because I'd been telling them that repeatedly. But asked if for spacing I'd be comfortable just turning towards the numbers. So I ended up cutting my base a little short and turned straight for the numbers, which ends up looking a little shallower than it is because of the angle with the lights, but it wasn't as bad as it was. And I figured if it didn't work out, I was ready to go around. Right about here, I was like, yep, I've got it. A little bit low, holding it off, but worked out really well. Tried to stay as high above those trees as I could coming in. Coming in this end, always a little weird with the tree line right there. And I'm fighting to get back on that center line. And that's it. First solo cross country out of the way. Hopefully if the weather holds, I'll do the same thing in reverse again today. I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you got something out of it. I'm enjoying watching it again for the debrief and see if I can make some corrections for today. And yeah, hopefully I finish finish this license here soon and get back to building the airplane as well. Anyhow, hope you all enjoyed. See you on the next one.